space that's around him. He's lightning fed by the space that surrounds him. Take it all in. Breathe. Forever be. Forever.
Hey, welcome to UnSung. Dun, 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 dun. That's right. It is episode number 1. We are off and rolling. The horses back here are very excited. They're galloping towards the start line. We are here. We made it. Congratulations. We're glad you found us. Now, the important job for you today is to go to these platforms and to click subscribe, follow us. We want you to continue to be one of our best friends. That's right. I said best friends along this journey as we interview those that are lifting the limelight in their area and around the world and supporting roles. It's going to be fun. We're going to hear a lot of great stories. We want you to come along. Well, I was hoping to get some pyrotechnics going on for this first episode, but I fell short. But I thought the horses would do good enough. But our guest today is going to take the whole cake. That's right, a Whole Foods cake, because I love Whole Foods cake anyways. So our guest today, I've known him for 25 years. That's a long time to know somebody. He is a husband. He's a father. He is probably most likely the most handsome person I've ever seen in my life. Also, he is an extraordinary musician. This guy can do it all. Engineering, he can get under a stage, he can run your wires, he can do everything, right? So that's a big introduction, but I want you to really put your hands together. I know you're clapping right now, you're screaming. This is exciting. The excitement, the anticipation is now here. It's boiled over. Give it up for my friend and now your new friend, Mr. Michael Cash.
Woo, episode one, baby. This is awesome.
You made it. Welcome.
Hey, I know you were looking for pyrotechnics, but check this out. My kids made this.
Yeah.
Can you see this? Can you see? Here we go. Ready? Episode 1. Woo!
Wow.
Yes.
I'm so
We're
touched.
here.
I'm so touched. Really.
This is awesome.
Wow. It's like our first time, right?
It's amazing. You've got the horses. Now, here's the deal. I didn't get the memo about the suit and the tie.
Yeah.
I feel we're off to the wrong foot, but that's okay.
No. It was a last minute thing. I was thinking, you know what? I mean, this is a big thing. I mean, you only do the first time, right? So you got to do something fun to kick it in. And so I don't have a cool cup like yours. I don't have a cool TV in the back, but I do have some horses and I have a tie and a jacket that I bought from Jose Bank. I always say
episode
Jose
1.
Bank. That can't be right.
I don't think it's right, but here's the deal. It's so cool. This is episode 1, and I can see it now. If you'll just go with me in this imaginary scenario. If we can go to episode 100, it's 100 now of the UnSung podcast with Blake Quimby. You look back all the way to this episode 1, and you say, wow, my guests, the quality of guests have gotten so much better than my first guest. So thanks for starting way down here with little old me, and I'm just excited to be here.
Well, that. On the contrary, that's not true at all, and we're going to find out more about this. But you moved to the village of Pleak. We like to call it the village. We have a friend that calls it the village. Define us in the village. And you moved to Pleak when you were what? 16? 15?
It was the 10th grade, I'll tell you that. It was the 10th grade. Moved out there, and that's where I started at a school where I met one Blake Quimby. Yes. And that's where I learned that school was not like this boring place. School could be this place that's just hilarious. Pranks. So many pranks. And I don't know how much we want to go into
Yeah,
the
I
details,
didn't
but
do the prick that you're thinking of that you blame me for. That was someone completely different. But we'll
yeah,
get them on later.
we'll see. Time will tell. But yeah, we had so many good times in '98. That's when it all began, I believe.
98. 98 was the Rockets' second championship. Jordan was just kind of coming back into the world,
Mm.
doing his whole baseball thing, that sissy thing he did. Now he's getting
Don't
back into basketball.
underestimate the heart of a champion. Is what I
You've
always say.
you've coined that phrase over the years.
Me and Rudy Tomjanovich.
Rudy Tomjanovich, yes, he is a champion. You are as well. We won a couple of state championships as
We
basketball
did.
players back in the day. Now, what people
We
might
were on
not
the
know,
bench most of the time.
well, sure, that was one
We, s-
thing.
we still get the ring though.
You still get the ring. Like think about like guys like Scotty Brooks, right? Right? I mean, he played sparingly in his first or second season. He got himself a
Mm,
ring, man. I mean,
yeah.
he was all right. I mean, he's just a little standard point guard. But you, my friend, you took it to the top. You played AAU, am I right?
I did do
You
some
did.
of that.
You did. You played on some clubs. And the thing of the see what people might not know.
Are we going to spend this whole time just kind of out complimenting each other?
No, I'm just saying. There's things that
Because
have to be told.
I'm coming back for you.
Yeah, it's fine. Things that have to be said in our day and age, and this is one thing that has to be said, is that you were the white Magic Johnson. That's what you were. You came in to school and you were like, "Hey guys, I'm going to look at you straight in the eye, right in the eye, and I'm going to pass it off to the left or right or behind my back, or I'm just going to take the jump shot, or on a good day, I'm just going to dunk on you." That's what that's the level that you are at that no one else could get to. I just want that to be said out loud. I don't care who hears it. I
I
said
don't
it.
know about that. I'm just realizing I have some confetti in my hair here
Well, it
from
is the
earlier.
first day. It's the first. I mean,
But I think what the thing is that I've always wanted to be a magician, and we can get into that if you want. But
we do.
like,
We
I
need to
think
talk about that because people don't know about that either.
secretly, yeah. So like, whatever I'm doing, basketball, like whatever, I try to work a little magic into it. Um,
You're good. You know some good tricks, but you have you have a nephew who's pretty good, right?
yes.
He did
And
a
who's
trick that what's his name? I don't know. He's a good magician. He did a trick with like a finger where like he faked like he was cutting it, and
Oh,
my son passed
yeah,
out. What's his name?
yeah, Dash.
Dash. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He was
he's
killing
awesome.
it.
He's actually really good.
Yeah. He's really he's taken over the mantle. But so magician, basketball player,
Mm,
the most finest musician this side of the Brazos is what I'm going to say, and even more. I mean, I don't know what else. I don't want to toot
false.
your own horn, but high school. We can start there. High school. You moved to Pleak. You came in. We had a lot of fun. There were a lot of
Mm,
pranks. There were a lot of loves won and loves lost. Right. Our hearts were
that's right.
broken.
Yeah,
And
all the things.
we got through it all. Got some state championships. I think baseball. Now let's talk about baseball. Tell me why you love baseball.
Baseball is the greatest sport in the world. Come on, Craig Biggio, Jeff Bagwell.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're still playing, right? Okay, you've got all this technology.
I'm just saying.
I've just noticed this logo right here. It's so sick.
Yeah, the
Right
logo's
here.
there. Yeah, it's right on you, right there, unsung.
That is killer.
Inconspicuous is what I like to say.
Yeah,
Um,
love baseball.
do you
We were
remember?
on the team together,
Yep.
and our work ethic is really what set us apart from the others. Like we would come to practices ready to go, with snow cones. We'd stop by the snow cone stand on the way to practice,
Right.
and we were just really going for it,
We were in
all
it to
out,
win it for sure.
100%.
It's a perfect example of not trying real hard and doing really good.
It was
Right?
fun.
I mean,
It's
then there was
made
always
it.
homecoming, right? Do you remember homecoming? You went to homecoming,
Oh,
didn't you?
I don't
I
remember.
think
I
you
do
went.
know that
Oh,
you were
there's
there.
there we go.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a great
Oh, wow.
possible homecoming picture
Oh, that's what this is.
This
Okay.
is. I will say that if you, this is how I remember you. Look how amazing that is. I mean, wasn't that
Uh,
Homecoming?
that's me and my little brother Tommy.
Little brother
And
Tommy. Yep.
I've just decided that I'm starting my podcast. I'm going to have you as my guest next week. I've got some material.
There you go. You got it. Right.
Oh,
And
so great.
so you, friends for 25 years. Look at that. Now look
Oh
at
my
us.
gosh. Where are you getting
Look
all of this stuff?
look at all that. Look at Tommy. Tommy looks good. There we are. I look like a fat soccer dad, but I'm there anyways. And
No,
you're
no.
turning the big 4-0.
40, 40.
You know, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
You have successfully coerced a young woman to marry you, and she's
Yes.
beautiful.
Oh,
There you go.
she's
And
the
you guys have
look at
procreated
the
two
kids.
beautiful kids.
Oh my gosh. Brighton's 9 now. Everly's 5. And they're amazing. Brianna's the greatest of all time.
All time.
And yeah,
Look at you.
amazing fam.
You're doing some stuff. You've been doing some stuff. You've been married for almost 15, right? Or 13? No,
Yeah.
14.
16 years will be, no, I'm sorry, 15 years in just a few weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, is there anything that you want to divulge to us that where you have any special plans? I mean, it's 15. That's pretty big.
Yes, I'm planning some awesome things.
Hmm. That's great. Are you going to eat somewhere?
I need to get to work on that. Hopefully, by the time this airs,
Yeah.
then I'll have it all planned out. But
Right.
15 years married, 16 years at the church. Incredible.
Yes. Sugar Land Family Church. You've been there. You're a worship leader. You pretty much do everything else. And you're surviving. You will survive. You will make it.
Yes, surviving and thriving. Yep. These are tired eyes, but they're very fulfilled eyes. And yeah, things are going really well.
So, like, what did you do today? You were kind of mentioning earlier to me. You said, I did this today. What did you do today? Let's talk
Oh,
about it.
today I actually had a little downtime. I was at a coffee house for a little while. I promise I do actual work.
Yeah.
Today, not so much,
Hopefully your
but
boss is not
um,
listening.
yeah, today I went to MySpace. Do you remember MySpace?
Ooh, yeah.
I went to MySpace to see if our studio, Cash Studios, was still up and running. I think it's some kind of like it's there, but it's not really there. It's like they call it classic, and like none of the photos would load, and like nothing would load. I probably have a couple of viruses on my laptop now, but I could tell that it said something about Blake Quimby in the studio. I just couldn't see the actual pictures,
Mm.
but yeah. You want to talk about the studio a little bit, because
I
that's
think
when
we
I can
should.
really I
Yeah.
can really talk about you a lot if we talk about the studio.
Yeah, no, I think we should just talk about it. So hold on. Let's kind of preface this because we haven't even touched on the family yet. You have
Sure.
a beautiful family of Italians.
Yeah, we're
Italians.
Italian.
That's what you say.
Ooh,
Italians.
don't say Italian around my dad.
Well, that's what he's Italian, right? That's what? So you have your Italian and so
Yeah.
a beautiful family, wonderful family, the best family. But you guys are very gifted. There's many people that can do many different things. But one thing that y'all can all do pretty much is sing and play something, and it's always better than anyone else, and it's great. It's phenomenal. It's very
It's too
gifted.
kind.
It's even going down to your children. Brighton's playing piano. Your wife is
Very
a
cool.
killer singer. Your mom. I mean, give us a little history on your family, and then let's talk about your dad, and let's get into the studio. Go for it.
Well, yeah, I definitely have a musical family, kind of the rite of passage. Everyone has to play or sing or do something to make it in this family. And yeah, it was just kind of, I happened to pick up the keyboard. And my dad is a musical genius. He taught me a lot. Even though he plays guitar, he also plays a little bit of piano, and he just taught me a lot about music theory, all the kind of nerdy stuff about music. Just super cool. My dad was the first guitar player to play in Houston's Astrodome. You remember the Astrodome?
I do.
Oh my
I do.
gosh. That's great.
Yeah.
I miss Astro World. Astrodome. The Astrodome is still there. It's empty, I think. But yeah, he was the first guitar player to play in it, and his license plate on his car says guitar. Like, that's crazy. He's had that for many a decades.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's what made me want to just like continue in music, and that's probably why I'm so connected with you, because you're a killer musician, and you play way more instruments than I do.
Well, now hold on.
And
You had your day in the glory hot sun with the guitar. So let's not. You know how to play a couple of chords on the guitar. You can.
I think I can play an E
There you go.
major,
That's
something like
better than
that.
I can do.
So I got super into music, and then I got into recording, and I bought all this recording equipment because I was like, if I buy all this stuff, I can make my own album. Like, I can buy this stuff, record something for myself. I get it all. I get it plugged in. Here comes a knock on the door. One Blake Quimby saying, you know what? I would like to record an album for myself with your equipment and your help. And so that started this Cash Studios. We just made it up on the spot. And I still have yet to record a single thing for myself. But your album was amazing and super fun. Learned a lot.
The thing of the matter is that I mean, your dad did a lot of production. Your dad had a big hand in what you're doing, taught you a lot. But we were in the you made mattresses. We were inside the mattresses. That's what the magic of Cash Studios was really the urine stain mattresses. Let's just say that,
Yeah,
right?
just don't look closely. Don't look, keep your eyes kind of focused. Just sing into the microphone.
Yeah, we have fabric over it. It's all good. It was the most trying. Doing vocals was the most trying time. And it wasn't because of you, but it's because of a sweet young man that would keep on pushing me. Nope, not right. Breathe from your. You got to breathe. He got me there. He got me
Coach
there.
Charlie. Coach Charlie.
Yeah. He doesn't stop till he's happy. It doesn't matter if you're happy.
Oh,
So,
funny.
he has that perfectionism. I love it. And you're much like our good friend Nolan Burke, who has played on a lot of people's records, and he still hasn't put out a record yet.
Yeah,
But
he's really good.
But if you
You should have him on the show.
Well, yeah, he's gonna be on a couple weeks, but I
Nice.
think there's a little surprise coming for everybody. I'm just saying,
Yeah?
give it a couple weeks, and there's a surprise. He might just tell us something. It's
Okay.
exciting. So I'm
Okay.
hoping that you watch that, and then you're like, I've got something.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
So just stay tuned, my friend. So Cash Studios, we did all that. We did all these recordings. You started doing that on the side. It kind of came your life, and then you got married, beautiful girl, church. You worked at the Drury Inn. Now here's something funny. What is the here's something. What is one
I'm
of
just
the
waiting for how many pictures. Do you have any more material that's gonna
I'm
like
good.
flash across?
I'm
the
good. I'm
screen?
good. I'm not going to show this one anymore. I'm not going to show
Oh
this
my
one
God.
anymore. It's all over. But I will tell you this. What is one of the worst jobs you've ever had? Hands down. Worst job.
Oh,
Without
man.
naming names. Worst job.
Without naming names, I've done some things. I mean, now my first job was at a water park that doesn't exist anymore,
Doesn't exist.
and my job was to get there a couple hours early and pick up trash, and I would pick up really anything that doesn't belong, and there were some things that really didn't belong, and it was super gross. And yeah, I still remember that
Did you
to
have
this
gloves
day.
on
Making
for that
$4.
Yeah.
What was that?
Did you have gloves?
I did have gloves.
Okay, good.
$4.25 an hour. And then the next year, I got a big fat raise, $4.35 an hour. Wow. But that's just basically, I'm just telling you how old I am.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
And really, how old you are?
Yeah.
Because you're actually a little bit older.
Well, it's not about me, but you're a seasoned young man, you know?
Mm,
We're in the ripe of our life right here. The
that's right.
you know? Um I can't jump very high anymore or run. Can you run anymore? Do you
No.
run on a how much running do you do on a daily basis? Do you
You
think
know,
now?
like the kids will be like, "I'm gonna get you, daddy," and then I I can kind of get away with like barely running
Yeah.
because my excuse is like I want them to catch me.
Yeah.
But in all actuality, like I'm giving it my all,
Sure. Sure.
and they still catch up to me.
Yeah. Well, you were a good runner. You were like a gazelle out there. You know, just
Where did see the thing is you have no footage of this because I don't think any of this was true.
well. See, we're gonna get you back on here with some good friends, and we're going to show some good footage of all of us. It'll be fun, guys. Don't worry. This
Nice.
is the first one. We have a long way to go. Um,
It gets
if
better, I promise people. It gets better.
it gets better from this point on. So,
Episode 2 is gonna be awesome.
off the chain. So here's the thing. You're a leader now. Apart from all these things, you're a leader now. You've transitioned. You've made the great Mecca transition into a leader. You love leadership. You love it.
Yeah.
You love it. You love talking about it. You love inspiring people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, here's the
Oh yeah.
thing. Here's something that's amazing that people probably don't know is that they know that you've been at your church for a long time, but you've
Mm.
kept pretty much the same band together for like 10 years,
Yeah,
right?
all volunteers, and yeah, they for some crazy reason, they keep showing up, and yeah, it's been super fun. They're all really great guys.
I mean, let's talk.
You know them.
Well, yeah, they're great. Let's talk about that for a little bit because I mean, come on, being a music person in the church, I mean, there's always people coming in and coming out, right? You know, you'll have some people for a couple years, blah blah, blah. But to keep the core together really for 10 years, that's something. Are you taking them out to eat? Are you telling them they're awesome? Because I have to
You know,
say, these guys, they're pretty talented, but they're nice people. Come on,
you
what
know.
do you
I
got?
think the trick is you don't tell. I think you don't tell them they're awesome.
Yeah.
They're just waiting. They're waiting to hear. You know, I'm still waiting for my dad to tell me.
Wait a minute, hold on. We got a special guest today. Hold on.
Oh,
Whoa, I
oh,
got you on that
whoa,
one. That would have been
daddy,
amazing.
daddy.
Daddy?
No, yeah. I mean, just yeah, try to support them as much as I can. They're just really great guys. I mean, we have a drummer who's literally the first one there on Sunday. Do you know a single drummer who's ever way early like that? It's crazy. So
Doesn't happen.
we've been graced with some awesome people.
Right. You got a great couple that helps you guys as well sing and stuff and guitar players, bass players. I mean, it's pretty amazing. You're a very blessed person to have that in your hands. Yeah.
Can we take a moment since we're bouncing around and just say like, okay, this was a dream that you had,
Drink.
and now it's like actually happening. It's so amazing.
It's happening. That's true. Something's happening. Little
Something's
fun.
happening.
It's a little
This
fun.
is out. This is out to the
Well,
stratosphere.
Well, yeah, but also the thing too is also you kind of that wasn't intimidation. You threatened me. You said this would not happen if you weren't the first person. So I wanted to make sure that you were the first person.
Well, it's
'Cause
because
I
of the
don't want-
ratings. I want the
Yeah.
ratings to go up and to
Yeah,
the right, and so to
that's
do that,
true.
they've got to start out kind of down in here somewhere.
Sure, sure. Well, that's wonderful. You're sitting.
Yeah.
You've made it at the stage. You're sitting on the stage. It's this big event or whatever you're doing. Have you ever just sat there and been like, "Whoa"? Have you had an aha moment in the middle of playing?
Aha moment. Oh,
Yeah.
that's a great question. The first thing that popped into my mind is I was in, I think Nolan does this too, Nolan Burke, kind of like a private party band, like a cover band. And which in itself, you know, I guess there are some aha moments there too. It's just you're at everyone's parties and stuff. But for whatever reason, we were hired to do this one thing. where we were in where was it? I think it was in Boston, maybe. Was it in the Garden? No, it wasn't.
No. I think you were in Colorado, weren't you?
Was it in New York?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
maybe it was in Colorado. Somewhere,
Yeah.
somewhere, and we were in this kind of like an arena, a smaller arena. But they asked us to like lead worship on Sunday, and it was like, okay, this is really cool. And then like the place was packed, and that was my first time like just being in kind of like that bowl setup. So you're like surrounded by people, and you kind of like lose your balance a little bit because it's
Sure.
like people are like completely surrounding you, and but we're like leading worship and singing about God, and that was like that was definitely an aha moment that popped in my mind.
Did you get lost in it, or did you kind of focus in? I mean, I would feel like you'd
Uh,
have to just focus in a little bit, huh?
yeah, you just have to kind of say, okay, shake it off,
Mm.
concentrate. D major, B minor, like you just
Keep
have
it
to
easy.
get back to the
Keep it simple.
yeah.
Here's a question: what makes a great leader? What do you think makes a great leader?
Just the ability probably to influence people and inspire them. You could have, see how I just switched gears there? Like I can go full. I just switched. I'm in a new gear now. Yeah, I mean, you can have a title and just kind of lord it over people, and everyone has to follow you because my title is I'm the assistant manager. I'm the assistant to the assistant manager, or I'm the this pastor or this whatever the audience your title is at work. You can kind of lord it over people, or you can inspire them to say, hey, come on up. Let's rally around the vision of the company or the church or whatever, and let's go somewhere. Let's do it together. And I think that's what separates like the leaders who are just leaders in title to like awesome, inspiring leaders. And so that's what I want to be. That's what you are. And yeah, I think that's what separates. Did your tear
I just
came
had a
out?
tear fall from my
Yeah,
chubby cheeks.
from your brow.
Yeah. Have you ever seen leadership, like say something that you've in your life that you've been able to get through? Because leading anything, whether it be a manager at a store or a band leader or a coach or whatever, when you finally see what you've been trying to encourage this person with kind of seep in, and then they respond, how does that make you feel? What do you feel in that moment?
It's the greatest thing. I mean, it's probably kind of like I would imagine. I have never been to the gym. Maybe we used to go to the gym just to
LA
play
Fitness,
basketball
baby.
or
LA
something.
Fitness. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to the gym, but like if you had like a trainer who's like training you and you can't do it, like there's no way I cannot touch my toes,
Right.
right? I cannot lift these weights. But then they just keep like inspiring you. Hey, you can do it. You can do it. And then when you finally do it, like not only are you excited, but that trainer it just has to like energize them and be like, oh, this is great. I led them. I inspired them. And so yeah, it's there's no greater feeling.
Because I would say that leading people, there's a lot of times that doubt plays a big role in maybe hopping up, not even hopping up, just continuing. Um, and there's a lot of churchy words we could probably use, but I'm not going to use those. I'm just going to say, when you finally see someone and the light bulbs go off and they get it, and they start living their life in a way that only encourages other people but glorifies God. It's just kind of that great combination. As a leader, you're like, man, this has nothing to do with me. It has all to do with that person's response to the Lord. What do you think about that?
Oh, it's so good. That's so great. Yeah. Yeah. Um, we're trying to help them, like in my context, I'm trying to help them be a better bass player, play on time or play, like in one of the hats I wear is the worship ministry. So yeah, I am trying to help them like in those practical ways, but to see them take that and also like, honor God and inspire others and become, more of a follower of Christ. Like now we're getting somewhere. Like that's awesome. So if we can get both of those things going, it's just amazing. And that's probably speaks to why the team um, has stuck around. Like we have really awesome volunteers, is because not only do they like playing, but like they're catching the vision. Like they're wanting, they realize that they're serving God and that they're growing in their faith, and it's a beautiful thing.
What do you think the number one, how would you say this? The number one hurdle for any leader?
Mm.
What do you think the number one hurdle could
Oh,
be?
that's
Like maybe,
a good one.
I mean, that's probably a lot, but you know, it could be anything. Number
Yeah,
one
I
hurdle
think.
for a leader.
Well, the most sometimes the hardest person to lead is yourself. So, kind of just if you can't really lead yourself well, then it's all going to be hurdles from that point on. So, like the way you talk to yourself, and the way your own discipline and work ethic, and your own like relationship with God. Like you have to seek all of that. Like that has to be number one. Get that going. You got to lead from a place of like, okay, I'm full. I'm ready to go. I'm energized. Okay, now come follow. But if you're just like depleted and you talk down to yourself, your confidence level is super low. It's a tough thing. So like I'm part of this kind of a leadership organization,
Right.
and like we spent the first 3 months learning how to like lead yourself well, like how to like monitor, kind of like you're in a car, you're driving, you have these dashboard, your dashboard. Like my car, if I'm driving a car, it's like Christmas, like all the lights are on, right? You've got the battery,
It's
you've
very
got the
true.
tire. It's very true, right? And it's one of it's I don't know a single thing about cars. Like we can talk about music and leadership. You start talking about transmissions and oil and stuff. Yeah, no way.
Where does it go?
All the lights are on. But like if you're going to lead yourself well, you have to know if any of those lights are on, like in your own, like your health, your spirituality, your marriage, your kids, like your relationship with Christ. Like you have to monitor all those things. And so that's just if you can get that right, there was less of that's kind of like the biggest hurdle. Like if you can get that going, I think you can start seeing some momentum in your leadership.
What's some of the best piece of advice you've ever received with leadership from someone else to you?
Oh man, that's a great question. One of the best pieces of advice I think was just a look, and I'm kind of back on music now, but
No, it's
a
great.
look that I got from, rest in peace, Joe De Leon.
Joe
Can I
De
tell
Leon.
that story?
Oh, this is yes.
Oh,
That gets
this
you a
is
point.
good.
Yeah.
So that gets me a point. You know, 3-4 people taught me like everything I need to know about music. One of them is Joe De Leon. He was the greatest drummer, and he was just so good. Anyways, when I was a lot younger, we're all playing on stage. We're playing a song, and I'm young, and I just think I'm the greatest thing that anyone's ever heard. So I'm just playing everything I know. This is a song. It probably has 3 chords. However, I'm going to play everything I know in this song because everyone needs to hear everything that I know. So I'm over here, I'm down here, I got 2. It's like you're going to hear everything, and I'm just going to town. And I look over, and Joe he's playing the simple beat like he does, meat and potatoes, right?
Yes. Yes.
He gives me this look. He doesn't say a word. He just looks at me like, what are you doing? Like, it was so awkward. And in that moment, like, he didn't need to say a word. In that moment, I knew everything I need to know, and literally, like a light switch, I completely like changed the way I thought about music and thought about, you know, sometimes being a good leader also means being a good follower. So like learning how to be a good follower in the band, a part of the band, part of the sound.
Sure.
But yeah, I learned so much in that moment. It was an aha moment.
Joe was one of the only guys that could come and play snare, and it sounds like he has a whole drum set with him.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
Right. He has one. You get one thing. You have this. You have one drum.
you get one thing.
Yeah, and it sounds. In fact, on your album, that album we recorded, I think he did a couple of
Did a
songs
majority of them, and
just snare. Yeah.
just came in, knocked it out, done. But it's just
Yeah.
brushes and snare, and he had
Yeah.
his own way, and he was
Yeah.
he definitely was the best I've ever had the pleasure of playing with. I would tell you, what, funny Joe story. So we're sitting there, we're playing. I'm playing bass. I guess someone called me to play bass with you and him and Robert and those guys. So I'm sitting there playing bass, and I'm just going do 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 do, right? And then Joe, I hear Joe say this just out of nowhere. He goes, "Oh, you like to groove?" And I went, "Yeah,
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
he locked in to whatever we were playing, and I tried to take it. Like I tried to be more on top of it. He wouldn't let me. That's one
Yeah.
thing about Joe. It's like he had it and he's going with it. You guys got to follow him, right?
Yeah.
And he was a great leader on the stage, just phenomenal.
Yeah, and he had a way of making everyone else sound better. Like so, and that's probably another great characteristic of being a good leader is like you're not just like have all these puppets, but you're like helping everyone just be like the greatest version of themselves, and like everyone's better. Like you're getting better, they're getting better, and yeah, he just had that way about him. It was awesome.
He's phenomenal. Okay, so when you're talking to somebody, and maybe today we have a couple of people listening, watching, and they are they're in the thick of it. They're in the woods. They can't see through the forest. They're stuck. They're working hard every day. Got their head down, working super diligent. They never think anyone thinks of them. That's what this podcast is about. People who work super hard, and we want to hear their stories. And so how would you encourage them? If you had that one person or a number of people, what would you tell them? How would you encourage them?
That's awesome. And I love the heart behind this podcast. Like that's so amazing. Like who takes time to recognize people who aren't maybe in the limelight, but they're lifting the limelight.
Yeah.
I think it's just a beautiful thing.
Fun.
I would just tell them, I would say, a lot of people say, keep your head up. Come on, keep your head up. Keep your chin up, sport. I would say keep your head down. Like just keep on going. Just keep on plowing. This isn't about you. Okay.
Point.
This isn't about one person. This isn't about, if I just can't wait till I make it one day. We've made it, right? We're here. We're doing it. We're alive. And we're, especially like, if you're fulfilling like God's purpose in your life, like you're doing it. It's Tuesday, it's 4 p.m. or whatever. Like you're doing it. Just keep your head down and be encouraged. And let's go for it.
Well, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you're like, hey, I really think we should talk about this because we have many moons between us, and so is there anything you want to ask me? I mean, this is, hey, not a lot of people get this chance. You got any questions you want to ask me? I mean, this is first episode.
I know we're running short on time, but I think one thing that needs to be talked about is the fact that I set up you and your wife, your first date. I arranged the whole thing. Now you're married. Like, not saying that I need credit for it, but like maybe just some public acknowledgement that
Agnostic?
the whole cheesecake.
Agnostic?
No, acknowledgement.
Well,
Cheesecake Factory, the whole thing. Lunch.
yeah.
Let's sit. Oh, y'all need to sit together.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. This is a big enchilada unravel, because it's not just you played a huge, massive part, but you also didn't tell me about her until I asked you about her. Do you remember this? Do you remember I was on stage and she was singing, and I said after a break or whatever, I said, "Hey, who is that girl?" And you and Brianna sitting there. I said, "Who is this girl?" And you,
I didn't want you to be nervous. Like
no,
I need
this is
you to play good.
this is exactly what you said. Like Brianna has that fun smile, and she's like, "Yeah, yeah, I think she's that." And this is what you told me. You said, if I can remember correctly, you said, "Oh, I was gonna tell you about her, but I just was kind of waiting a little bit." And I was
Just
sitting
wait
there
until
going,
after we played.
if this was you, I would have been on the phone. Same, the moment I see, "Hey, I got a girl for you. Come on down. Come on down." But in your
Yeah, I
little
didn't want you to
ways,
get too nervous, and you
no,
were awesome. We
I
went
got
to
through it.
Cheesecake Factory,
Yeah.
First Colony, Sugarland. Y'all sat. I can take you to the table right now where y'all sat at.
What
I
exactly?
orchestrated it. You sit here. Okay, you
Orchestrate
sit
sound.
here.
Yeah.
Hands off. Wedding, marriage,
Another
kids.
point. I will tell you, I give you credit, but I also have to give another person credit, or she's coming for my legs. I'm just telling you right now. I don't want to lose my legs. Okay.
Yeah, I
So,
hear you.
I'm just going to say something was said on a Christmas night. I think it was Christmas night or some kind of Christmas thing y'all had. And that
Yeah.
completely turned the entire spectrum of my
Yeah.
life around. And I'm just going to say it. Can I say it? Should I say it? Can I say it?
Yeah. Say it.
Dina Keller.
Oh my gosh.
You're out there doing what you do, girl. You're out
She
there doing what
spoke
you
it
do.
into existence.
I think it was attacked. You started the fire. She
Mhm.
stoked it, and I finished
Yeah.
it. How about that?
And here we are.
Yeah. Here we are 15 years later,
Goodness.
and she is the best thing that's ever happened to me
So
besides you.
exciting. Yeah.
Did you
Thank
hear
you
that?
for that. Yeah.
I just want that to be said.
Oh, and I love that this is going to live on the internet
In
forever.
In infamy.
Mm.
In infamy for infamy forever. You know?
Forever. This is so great. Oh, love it.
So awesome. Well, now we're gonna end our show tonight, but
This
I
has
want-
flown by.
it's kind of flown by. It's been almost
has
an
been so
hour.
good.
Hopefully, people are still watching. If
No
not,
way.
yeah,
No
they might
way.
be. We were cooking for a while. I want to say this. We always end a podcast by telling our guests
That's
how
so great.
terrible
Like
they
we
are.
always
No.
we always do this.
we always do
It's
this. This is
episode 1, but
this
we
is-
always do this.
we always do it.
Since the very beginning
Beginning.
of this
Yeah.
show, we always do this.
Beginning. So I'm gonna tell you this: you are a visionary. You are
Okay.
a tremendous leader, great dad, great husband. But here's something: you are a lifetime friend.
Oh, that's
And I just think that there's a record in there somewhere. You got to make a record. So
okay.
right now, in front of everyone, we're saying we want a record. Everyone, do y'all hear me? We want a record for Michael C. Cash. And
Yeah.
what a fun night! This has been fun.
This has been so great. It's the beginning of the journey.
It's the beginning.
Oh my gosh. Worldwide. Hundreds
Worldwide.
of episodes.
We'll see.
I know you've got some exciting guests. Do you want to preview anything?
Well, yeah.
Like-
I mean, hey, listen, we got Seth Johnson coming on. He's going to come on. This is going to be great. He's a musician up in the Woodlands, sweet guy. We have Lamar Merchant. You know Lamar,
Oh,
Killer-
great.
killer dude.
Oh, that's a great guess.
Um,
Okay, your guests are guys. If you can just make it through this episode, okay, with this guest,
Yeah.
episode 1, which is me. If you can just make it to episode 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, like the guests. Oh my gosh, these guests are amazing.
yeah, Andy Golahorn is going to be on. Also,
What?
Nolan Burke, Jacob Metter, Who else?
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
Tyson. Mr. Tyson's going to be on. It's
Mr.
getting,
Tyson?
yeah. Butch Ewing is going to be on. Emily
Oh, okay.
Perez. You know Emily.
She's awesome.
And one
That's gonna
thing
be
I would
great.
have to say to keep your eyes out for is that we talk about George Strait a little bit. Not just in one episode, but a few, hopefully, I think. From what I've been
Okay.
told,
Nice.
there's a couple of George Strait comments.
The king.
So get ready. This is going to be a fun
Awesome.
ride. So the first thing you need to do is you need to go to the social platforms, find us, subscribe to us. You don't want to miss out, because if you miss out, it will not be fun. Michael will be really sad. But we want you to be a part of this journey. It's been a blast talking to you, Casharuni.
Here's some more confetti. My kids worked hard on this, so watch it.
Go ahead.
Yes.
It's great.
So excited. Episode 1.
All right, we'll see you next time on the Unsung Podcast.
No longer dead to this place that's around him. He's lightning fed by the space that surrounds him. Take it all in. Breathe. Forever be. Forever.
We want to thank beautiful contributors for allowing us to use their music for the Unsung Podcast. You can support them by going to any platform, anywhere you listen to music, and purchasing and listen to their music. They also might have some vinyl or CD still available. You can reach out to them, but support beautiful contributors.